What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. And this is the after Labor Day edition. We had Monday off, so the big holiday in America, the end of summer. Hot girl summer is done, but soccer continues, or kind of continues, because now we're on international break. But we're going to cover everything that happened before international break in the Premier League. And first, we want to get to our sponsor. Sponsor is onthevolleyapparel.com. And you go to onthevolleyapparel.com, and they have tanks, T-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts for men and women with soccer / hip-hop emblems on the front. Make some cool designs. And you can go there, use my promo code, Comic Rant, get 20% off, and they can also outfit your local soccer team. They got gear there, for little strips for your leagues. You know what I mean? So go to onthevolleyapparel.com, use my promo code Comic Rant, and boom, get 20% off. And I guess I'll talk about my special. Ian Talk, Bill Burr Presents Ian Talk is available. You can watch it for free at comedycentral.com. It's in front of the paywall. Some of you don't even know what a paywall is. Just go to comedycentral.com and you can stream it. It's streaming there for free. Check it out. And what else? That's it for now. I got a guest. His name is AJ Faji.
Yes.
Yeah. Try to come in here looking swole. Try to out-swole me. Disrespectful bastard,
I feel like
bro.
this is how all of our conversations start.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Come in here tall. Try to out-swole me.
I'll work on that.
He's a comic.
Yeah.
Been doing it for 5 years.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is AJ Faji. That's AJFAJI.
Yeah, nobody understood you with that accent, so it's all good.
Okay.
So
people
AJ's,
think I say G a lot. Do you hear a G when I say that? AJ.
Yeah,
F-A-J-I.
I hear it. Yeah.
So how do I fix that?
Man, it's just years of being in America. And
Okay.
Where you from originally?
Nigeria.
Nigeria?
Yes.
And how long? What's your story a little bit?
Born in Lagos, Nigeria. I lived there till I was 6, at which point I moved to New York, was there for 4 years, then moved back to Nigeria, was there till I was 19, at which point I moved to Iowa for college. /
Iowa?
Yeah.
From
Nigeria to
Iowa?
Yep.
That's so bananas, dude.
Yeah. I didn't realize what was happening at the time. You didn't vet
who booked your flight?
It was on some, I was literally I was a good student, but I was lazy at this. So what I wanted to do.
You was going to what?
I was a good student, but
right.
I was lazy.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to do is apply to schools that didn't require me to write an essay.
Oh,
and that was a girl next to me was filling out essay or application for a school called Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa. So I filled that out, and yeah, that's what happened. Picked my major off the drop-down menu, and here we are.
And then how'd you get did you finish school in Iowa?
Yeah, I did. I got my pharmacy. I got my doctorate in pharmacy. Then I moved. Yeah. Then I moved to Dallas, Texas, where I started doing comedy. Then I moved here 2 years ago.
What made you start doing comedy? And if you got a doctorate in pharmaceuticals, is that what it is?
In pharmacy, yeah.
In pharmacy, meaning, what does that mean?
It means I'm a pharmacist.
Right.
Yeah.
So what, you can fill out prescriptions?
Yeah.
People bring you to doctor, right, and say, oh, I understand that.
Yeah, exactly.
You can read doctor hieroglyphics.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
That's all we do,
okay.
Reading doctor hieroglyphics. And then, but no, what made me do it, what made me want to do was, I graduated from pharmacy school. Well, I was about to graduate, and I remember looking around in class, one of those exams, and people were so excited about being pharmacists and stuff. I just remember thinking, look at all these nerds. And and then I kind of decided what I like to always like making people laugh. And then,
hilarious.
Hit the scene in Dallas. Here we are.
You hit the scene in Dallas. All right.
Yeah.
How long you been in LA?
2 years now.
2 years now?
Mm-hmm.
And how's comedy working out for you?
It's rough. You
grew up in Lagos.
Yeah, I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria.
How is comedy rough?
Well, it's not rough in the greatest sense of my life, but it's rough in terms of like getting used to how comedy in LA works.
Getting used to and bombing.
Yeah, sure. That too.
All
that
right.
too. Yeah. Different comedy audiences. You most often play to your peers out here when you're first known. And then,
Are you as you do comedy? Are you not losing your accent more, because your accent's pretty strong, but does your accent get in the way of some of
my
the
jokes?
material and your jokes?
No. Actually, most people lately have been saying they don't hear it at all anymore. I think because you're kind of international too, so you probably hear it a bit more. But most
I
people
hear it, bro. It's loud.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty
I mean,
loud.
I'm not trying to get rid of it. It's
very
just
aggressive.
how I talk. Yeah, Yorubas are very aggressive people.
You're being very Nigerian
Okay.
across from me right now.
I'll try my best to tone that shit down.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Do you? I'm just saying. So, growing up African, that means what football teams did you first fall in love with, and who you with now?
In terms of like clubs or international?
Well, both.
Okay. Well, international, I fell in love with the Super Eagles. That's Nigeria.
Okay.
So, I mean, as a secondary team, like when Nigeria gets knocked out, then I'll go for France normally.
Oh, okay.
But there
are a lot of Nigerians in France?
There's a lot of Africans in France in
Right.
general, really. If you look at the team, it's just a bunch of Africans, but, naturalized to get away from the struggle. So,
Right.
yeah. That's kind of the misdirect reason why I like France, too.
What African country is Pogba's heritage?
Pogba?
Yeah.
Pogba is I believe he's Congolese.
Oh, yeah?
I believe he's Congolese.
Conte, I think, is Congolese.
Conte? He might be.
Let me see.
He might be.
We could look these things up. They got this thing called...
Which one are you looking up? I'll look up the other one.
So I'll look up Pogba.
Okay.
It's a good thing they spell these things for you, because...
you don't know how to spell those names.
Well, it's embarrassing.
Oh.
So it's a lot of writing before they say anything.
N'Golo Kante, Malian descent.
Malian?
Yeah.
And you know Malia? Like, you're aware of it as a Malian?
Malian,
What
like
part of
Mali.
Mali, okay. And I've heard of Mali.
Yeah.
So, okay. But he's Malian. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
That's how the people.
And I'm looking at Pogba's thing right here, but it doesn't.
Ghanaian parents.
Ghanaian?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I know it was West African at least.
All right.
We'll
So-
find that.
Who's your club team? You watch the Premier League.
I do watch the Premier League. Club teams right here. Let me get that for the right here. The Arsenal, the original team, London's team. Some may say.
Some may say.
Some may say that the one true team and ruler to the throne of original football, which is not money based, but that's not how we play anymore. So
it's not money based.
yeah.
Oh,
But back
man.
in the days when we like squashing all the that's when no money was in it yet.
When what?
When Arsenal, the Invincible season, 04.
There was no money involved?
No, there was money involved, but
Yeah.
like you couldn't, like basically it all started with when Roman Abramovich bought Chelsea. And that was the first time you saw English teams basically outspending what they made to get better players. And then that's when Chelsea, all of a sudden, a team that was like low table, came to all of a sudden start mollywopping teams and stuff.
But it was always involved with money, because before Abramovich came, we bought Rooney from Everton. We bought Ronaldo from the Portuguese team. Like the bigger team with the most money and the most glamour.
Right.
So it was always
Right.
about money. It's even, I just think it gets more about money. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And there's sponsorships now.
Definitely,
and
yeah. And the TV deals.
And TV deals. There's sponsorships for the warm-up clothes.
Yeah.
And those are different They make the players sit on the sideline in a warm-up outfit.
They have to wear the training
from
jacket
another
to come
company, and then they put on their uniform, which is sponsored by another company.
Yeah.
And then it goes on, and then there's agents getting
deals.
Exorbitant amounts
you get
of
appearance deals now. Like if they show up and appear somewhere, they have money worked into that. No, but what I'm saying in terms of like the actual money coming in is like from the standpoint of like Man U had the most money because they were and they still are the biggest team in the English. I don't
know about that, but yeah.
No, they're bigger than Real Madrid. They're bigger than Barcelona.
Really?
In terms of like,
we been acting? We haven't been acting that way.
No, because
I think
the fair play rules make it harder now.
I mean, we have spending room to buy players, but we haven't really bought. So I don't know.
I think part of it is because it's kind of embarrassing what's happened with your last few big buys because you spent a ton on Sanchez who didn't do anything for you. Then we
loaned him out. We just loaned him out.
Just loaned him out to Inter. And then you spent but he scored like 4 goals the whole time he's been at Man U.
Yeah.
And then you spent a lot on what's his name? On Falcao. That was another drop.
That was a loan.
Yeah, but I mean, you spent money to bring him there and whatever.
It's a quick loan.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then you spend money on Pogba, which is like one of those things to where he plays when he wants to and he doesn't want to.
Yeah. Well, you're making that up.
Really?
That's stuff that you hear people say.
So under Jose Mourinho.
Let me finish. Okay. That's stuff you just hear people say. If Pogba did not play for our team, we wouldn't even be in the top 6. You feel me?
I agree
he's
with that.
the only player. So you can't say he plays when he wants to play. He plays like you're as strong as the best players around you. Like, let's go to Liverpool, right? Wijnaldum, midfielder for Liverpool.
Right.
He played for, I think, let's just say Newcastle before. I think it was.
That sounds right.
Yeah. I can't even spell Wijnaldum.
Wyna.
Wyna.
LDUM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just better not be a building. It's a building.
Wijnaldum football.
Yeah.
Do you say football or do you say soccer?
I say both.
Okay.
I don't care anymore.
Oh, okay.
I'm gangster.
Okay.
Like, why am I? It's Gigi Wijnaldum, right? I think it's Gigi.
I honestly don't know his first name. Let's find out here.
I should put Wijnaldum Liverpool. Liver. This is pathetic.
Okay,
y'all.
Jorginho Wijnaldum.
Jorginho, yeah.
Okay, so Wijnaldum, Dutch professional player. Let's see.
Your phone is working better than this computer that I'm not used to.
And I'm not even on Wi-Fi. Newcastle, you're right.
Newcastle.
He was on Feyenoord, then PSV, then Newcastle. Then
so
Liverpool.
he played for a Newcastle team, which I think got relegated, right? But he's clearly a Liverpool standard player.
Right.
Now, nobody looks at the record of. Nobody looks at what he did on that team or how they don't blame him for how bad Newcastle was.
True.
They just be like, this guy's one of the best players on Newcastle. Let's take him and put him into a better situation with better players. And then let's see what he can do. And then he's thriving with Liverpool because everybody's on par with his level.
Yeah.
Now, Pogba is on a better version of Newcastle right now.
Okay.
You feel me?
I feel you.
So then, like, the stuff that Wijnaldum is doing now at Liverpool, you saw glimpses of it.
When he was on Newcastle.
When he's on Newcastle, that's how you knew. But you didn't see it as much because, you have to have the players to help you do what you do. And now he does.
I agree with the analogy. And I agree that Pogba is the best outfield player on that team.
Yes.
Now, but
might be the best player, period. Have you seen David De Gea keep lately?
Yeah, he's been trash lately.
Yeah, so, all right.
De Gea has been definite trash. But it's almost like I think he's in a slump from knowing he's kind of on a team that's not. I think De Gea. I think he almost like feels like
Pogba might be on that slump too.
And yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
No, but when I said the thing about Pogba, now under Solskjaer is kind of hard for me to say. I don't know. But under Jose Mourinho, he was definitely tanking some of those games.
He wasn't tanking.
Come on, you saw he came out roaring after the Solskjaer and won Solskjaer's first game.
He wasn't tanking. The whole team was tanking. And it wasn't. I don't think they were tanking. It's like you have a. If you were going to be a pharmacist, right, and you kept going on that field, you go to work every day, you'd fill out the prescriptions, but you'd fill it out with less enthusiasm because the drop would drain you.
Right.
So psychologically, you're kind of being blocked from being the best you could be because you're working for people you don't want to work for.
Right.
You're doing your job.
Right.
But there's no sunshine. You feel me? And I felt like under Mourinho, there was no sunshine for the entire team.
I do feel like that.
Because he won 2 titles with Mourinho. That's why everybody keeps ignoring. But I don't want to keep repeating that. Let's go to Arsenal. Let's go to the Gunners.
The Gunners, man. COYG. Come on, you Gooners.
So you guys.
We out here.
Drew 2-2 with Tottenham.
Yeah, we did.
Right? Big game of the weekend.
Yeah.
And
the London Derby.
You went down at home
2-0.
Right. Right? You went down at home 2-0. But pulled it back.
Yep.
And a great game.
Yeah.
And I thought Spurs was going to win this game. Because they just have a better all-around team. They have midfield, they have defense, and they have an attack. And I think you guys are vulnerable, but somehow you went pretty much all attack and came back.
We fought for that game, the second half. If you saw the second half, then you would think Spurs were going to lose that game. But the thing is, with Tottenham, our attack is better than theirs, for sure. Now,
probably, but there's other aspects to the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. But what I'm saying is that their defense is kind of hobbled right now because the dude playing, they have a makeshift left back. I think his name is Sanchez, so he's not even really supposed to be there. And then you have
Spurs.
Spurs,
yeah, because he's a center.
Exactly.
Right.
So and then you have the other guy, Danny Rose, is in there, and then he wanted to leave.
Right.
According to reports. Then you have the heart of the midfield, the guy that kind of makes everything tick, in Christian Eriksen, who also wanted to leave, but now it's probably too late. So they might play better now, but there's a lot of stuff going on in that locker room just because, one, they've been kind of building and getting stronger and stronger, but still nowhere close to what it takes to win the Premier League title. And, and then...
I think Spurs are at the standard for what you need to win a Premier League title.
Right.
But Liverpool and Man City raised that standard.
Right.
So now, it's tougher.
What they're doing now definitely could have won Premier League titles before.
Right.
But now when you have basically Liverpool going 1 game unbeaten last season and losing the title with that record, it lets you know that they're kind of playing at a different league right now.
So what do you think of Arsenal's situation this year as a Gunner? How do you feel? Optimistic? Do you like your coach? Do you like your team?
Yeah.
What would you change? What would you fix? And that's a lot of questions.
No, it's fine. I like all of them. Our potential going forward is incredibly high. Like, it probably can be comparable, not as good as Liverpool because this is the first time these guys are playing together, but when they start clicking, maybe, and then could definitely outrank Man U, who's kind of like just left in tatters right now. 1 striker. Chelsea, they have no real established striker. They have our backup guy who we left off is the most established striker in Chelsea. Tottenham.
Who's that?
Is Olivier Giroud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so in Tottenham, you have Harry Kane, which is always on point, but if he goes down, that's not actually Son Heung-min actually can ball out too. But
Eriksen did something.
And Eriksen is fire too. But like in terms of going forward, I don't doubt us. Now, go now backward.
Midfield.
Yeah, midfield. The problem with Arsenal is the same problem we've had for essentially the last 15 years since Gilberto was there. The spine has always been weak. It's always guys who can usually do something like some pretty footwork with the ball, can bring it up, but as soon as you have to get into a dogfight, which a lot of Premier League matches are, they just kind of fall over. Jacko was supposed to be the guy that's supposed to bring some stability. He's trash. He's trash. Yeah, he has a great long ball. Xhaka. I mean, he has a great long ball.
But you're not for when we talk guys in that position.
When you're talking
and
about
the big names,
yeah,
and you're in a huge team like Arsenal, he's not up to par.
He's not up to par, and it keeps getting shown every time. Torreira is like good, but like he's not
up
creative.
to par either.
We're not gonna win Champions League like that. Guendouzi, he's showing some flashes, and he's like
flashes.
Yeah, like
he's more than that,
dude. Like Pogba got injured, so now they called Guendouzi up for a spot on the
that's great.
French national team, and he's only 20 years old, so they need to
Guendouzi is amazing.
Yeah. They need to sign his contract. Now
he didn't sign a contract. Would you read?
I think he has a contract, but I think Arsenal's trying to have better policies now to where they don't wait for a contract to be about to expire before you extend it, which is what you do. You need to catch them before they hit their prime.
Right.
So, but yeah, that like the midfield and then the defense is one of the worst in the league. Like
I know you guys got like
you're
like Newcastle from back in the day when they were just a super attacking team.
Yeah,
and then they would let in goals and score goals. You're like Liverpool a few years
before
ago
before
Van Dijk and Matip got up to par and Gomez and the two fullbacks.
That's
like
the thing.
Filled in the picture for them.
Yeah, because with the defense, it's like the two center backs. Socrates is he's decent, not a world class center back by any means, but he's decent. But that style of center back needs to be with the more quicker, agile center back, so that guy holds up the play, and then the other one kind of does the dirty work. But we don't have any of that right now. Rob Holding come back from injury. We'll see what that's like. Bellerin, which is. I thought one of the guys that would be the anchor on the Arsenal team because he's just so talented, but he just.
But I still don't think he's complete. I think he's got holes in his game
from the defensive standpoint, probably. And then now we'll see how this new guy plays, the Tierney guy, but he's from the Scottish League, so it's kind of hard to predict.
Have they played him yet?
No, they haven't because he's recovering from like double hernia surgery.
Yeah,
it's trash.
Yeah, just the stress of being with. Arsenal gave him a hernia.
He had the hernia before he got signed. But you
we're gonna stick around. We'll get to what we got.
Talk trash.
you get a chance to trash my team, and I'll help you. I'll help you trash him.
Yeah,
I'll help you trash him. You're gonna have no joy in trashing the team.
I don't know, man.
You're gonna have no joy in trashing the team and thinking I won't trash him with you. Like I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Your guy Henrik Mkhitaryan got traded to Roma, loaned.
He got loaned, but it's like he's the one that it kind of pissed me because I thought that we should have just sold him. I don't know why we'd sell Iwobi and keep Mkhitaryan. I'm sure because nobody wants Mkhitaryan, but Iwobi is like a talent that you could see him keep growing at Arsenal.
How old is Iwobi?
He's like 24. He's still young. I know he's still young. He hasn't hit his prime yet.
He scored a goal this weekend.
He scored 2 goals since he left for Everton. They never gave him any straight run of time. But then Pepe is definitely better.
Than Iwobi?
Yeah. Because Pepe has the finishing product, but that's always the thing.
I didn't see Pepe do shit. I mean, Pepe he looks nervous. Like he's 23.
As you should on your new team that you're bringing on. But like he's the first guy to pass Virgil van Dijk in 50 games.
And then what did he do with it?
He didn't finish it, but I'm just saying Virgil van Dijk hasn't been beaten since like March 2018. And Pepe was the first to do it.
And then he got past him and then panicked.
Probably.
Yeah, he loses composure.
It be like that sometimes though.
I know.
It be like that. But I think he's going to, because he scored in Ligue 1. So I think he's going to change the pace. He just needs to run through one of these lower league teams.
What's Pepe's position?
He plays like right wing. He's a left-footed right winger.
And what about, which is cool, that's like Robin, Iron Robin style.
Yeah.
left-footed right winger. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what position does Aubameyang play?
Aubameyang, now he's kind of a chameleon. He can play anywhere in the front three. His fate, well, it kind of alternates between his favorite position, but his favorite position is central striker. But if we have Lacazette on the field, then Lacazette can only play central striker, really.
Right.
So they usually put him on the left. But he still scores goals and everything from there. He's like really talented.
Did it make sense for them to get Pepe after they already had Lacazette?
Yes.
Why?
Because one, you like these days, the way the game works, you kind of, the new style is to play out from the back, but also to defend from the strike force. Like that's the teams that are winning right now, Man City and Liverpool, and they excel at doing that. So like you need somebody who's fast, and you need somebody who can also finish it with the end product. Now, in terms of the problems that Arsenal had, right wing, I wouldn't say was the most concerning problem. The most concerning would be center back. We have nobody that's stable this year. And we have no real backups for like Tierney if he goes down, or Maitland-Niles, I guess he serves, but he's not excelling there.
He's not?
He's doing his thing.
He's doing all right.
He's doing it all right, but it's like it's one of those things to where, like I'm trying to think about, let's say this is a Premier League winning side.
It's not.
I know, but what I'm saying is Maitland. I think Bellerin is going to get me there over Maitland-Niles.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
I mean, if City won with Otamendi, and you guys could, so you guys got a lot of work to do, and we know exactly where it needs to work to be done. It wasn't done. What do you think about Ceballos?
Ceballos, he looks good. He looked kind of tired towards the end of the Liverpool game, but who wouldn't be? Right. But the Ceballos, he looks good. He's like one of those guys that, like, I think because like right now it's like, what's gonna happen when everybody's fit? Are they gonna play Ozil there? Are they gonna start playing him again, or are they gonna play Ceballos? Ozil is a world class player on one side of the ball. Right. Attacking, you can't talk about his talent.
What is Ceballos' job?
Ceballos is kind of,
is he box to box?
Kind of, yeah, because they play him as like a number 10. They played him as a number 10, but they've also played him as the, like, whatever Pogba's role would be, like 6 or 8 or whatever the number is. But so they play him as like the creative defensive midfield, if you know 4-2-3-1. And
did he start on?
He started that game with
not the Liverpool game. Did he play in the? I gotta go back and check on Sunday or Saturday. Did he play?
Yeah, in Tottenham. Yeah, he played, but they brought him off the bench, which was one of the problems with that team that Unai Emery started, was that they had like great attacking talent and somewhat decent defensive midfield talent, but they had nobody to link the two phases of play. There was just a bunch of defensive guys that know how to stop balls from coming in, but don't know how to get it to Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe.
And what do you think of your pickup of David Luiz? Because I want to find this comment. So you're not feeling him either.
No, it's like I was, but like I was like, oh, hopefully they're getting rid of him just because of Lampard and whatever beef Luiz might have. But when I saw the two mistakes he's made recently, and they keep talking about how he has lapses in defensive concentration, then it just got to the point to where you have to start wondering if he should be even in there if Holding comes back, because he seems like one of those guys. The thing with Arsenal is we have a ton of players that are great that can destroy teams like Norwich and stuff like that. A bunch of guys that would like Ozil would run through them,
which is important because I think you guys would do great. Right? And you guys would do great against the I think, like, I'm looking at your record right now. Right? So you guys, you beat who you're supposed to beat. You beat Newcastle. You beat Burnley. You lost to Liverpool. That's who you're supposed to lose to.
Right.
And you drew with Tottenham. That's who you're supposed to tie
at the Emirates, probably win.
And I thought lose.
You thought lose? I don't know. No, last season I would have said but like at the Emirates with our record against them, knowing that this is the London derby, no, we should have won that game. just some trash defending from Xhaka. Just trash.
Xhaka does as much as he can do.
And Luis just he's one of those guys that's also good. It's like if we're pummeling teams, that's who you want.
Right.
Like, but if you have to actually face like a actual foe, like a competitor, that's the problem. Those guys fall asleep.
All right, we're gonna leave your broken-hearted, jilted lover of a team. You are who you are.
Yeah.
And this is also something I have to accept with my team. We are who we are.
Yeah.
So you guys are who you are.
Yeah.
And
y'all had a good run though. Y'all been.
Yeah, you guys had a good run too.
We did.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 15. But it's all good.
We'll get back there.
Yeah, you have a better chance of getting back there right now.
That is true.
Right.
I don't know why you would sell your main striker and
Lukaku?
get nothing. Yeah. Why?
Get nothing? Oh, not buy anything?
Yeah.
Because the problem with us is
you buy big, but like
the problem with us is we have a organization off the field issues.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Like Glazers.
Glazers and probably like Ed Woodward. Everybody's blaming Ed Woodward, but it's just how we buy and get players in. Mm-hmm. So we've done better. We got rid of some players. Mm-hmm. Like we got rid of
you got rid of Sanchez.
He's on a loan.
Yeah.
And Lukaku. And who else? We got rid of we got Darmian.
But yeah, Darmian is somebody who
just
wasn't ever going to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so now we're shaving down the squad, but we don't have backup replacements. But I think what we should have done is got those attacking midfielders in the transfer window. But when January comes, we have to do something.
But that's the thing with January transfer window is that a lot of teams that can affect and actually make changes in those top 6 teams, you can't find those type of players in January because those type of players are playing in the Champions League. And those types of players, once they switch January, they could help you in the Premier League, but they can't do anything for you in the Champions League.
We're not in the Champions League.
No, well, that's true.
We're in the Europa.
But that's what I'm saying. You're trying to get players that get you Champions League, and those types of players are playing on Champions League teams.
Well, I have a player that's exactly. Well, those players know they're in the Champions League, and some of them by January might be out of the Champions League.
This is true.
Because I don't know what stage of the Champions League will be in by January, but maybe some teams are out by then. I forgot how the Champions League plays out and what stage is at by January. But, then we might be able to get somebody who's like, fuck it, I'm out the Champions League anyway. Or it might hurt us. And somebody's like, I want to stay in the Champions League. But if your team's going to sell you, your team's going to sell you.
Yeah.
So, and then we still have, so we played Southampton. We tied 1-1. We went up 1-0. And
missed penalty.
No, not this. We missed an assignment on defense. And I think Vestergaard, the Southampton defender, headed the ball in the net while Maguire and Lindelof were pointing at each other and saying, hey, you should get over there to guard that guy. Yeah. And it's just, this is who we are, man.
How do you feel about that £80 million purchase of a standard English defender?
We overpaid,
but because you're Man U.
Not because we're Man U.
No, because you're Man U. They charge you that way because you're Man U.
Maybe, but
no, 100%.
Maybe, but we also overpaid because the price of Van Dijk brought the price of players up.
He kind of destroyed everything because but then when you saw his rise is something that's been amazing to me because just
my
when
battery's dying, but keep going. I'm listening.
When you talk about defenders, they're on every major team. They're somewhat of an afterthought. You're always going to be thinking about defenders last. You're going to want your attacking and midfield and stuff straight. But when you saw the change that guy made, almost single-handedly in the whole defense and taking them from somebody that's was leaking goals to what? I think they only got 22 goals on them scored.
I think this Van Dijk thing is overblown.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's definitely helped them a lot.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's ignoring how good Matip got, how good the two fullbacks are too.
Yeah.
And
But don't you think that's by virtue of him being so good? It's like
I just think that I forgot when Roberts and the other guy got there.
Alexander Arnold
got there. But after, it's like they all got clicked. They all clicked. But then the credit, because Van Dijk was the last piece, he's getting a lot more credit than I think
I'm telling you, man, when
he
you
deserves. I watch all the Liverpool games.
Bro, when you see the safety defenders feel like when they can trust the last center back, like that, those years that when like there would be like a free kick and Vieira would stand at the line and the whole Arsenal team would go forward, like that causes the other people to get better, because all of a sudden Alexander Arnold and Roberts don't have to worry about getting back as much. They can just keep going at the other team, and all of a sudden if a defender scores a goal, gets an assist, and that's like a big thing. That dude's like team of the week type defender. All of a sudden all their levels rise. I think he deserves it.
I think
50 games without running.
Add a strong player to a strong team, it just makes the whole thing stronger. And it's like, hey man, he's doing his job for sure. He's worth the money for sure.
What percentage would you say is Van Dijk as opposed to Liverpool?
I don't even know how you do that math.
No, I'm saying, would you say 50% of them doing what they did last year was in defense was due to Van Dijk, or would you say?
Well, he's been there a season and a half.
Yeah.
Right?
That was a great
year. And the half season, they finished, I forgot where they finished. It might have been third. Like, I don't think they finished.
Like 2 seasons ago?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But he didn't have the whole season. So it's like, but last season he was there for the whole season. And so they definitely improved. But I just think it's everybody, like Gomez, Matip, Roberts, Alexander Arnold. They just all clicked. And I think, what do you think about Van Dijk winning the UEFA Player of the Year?
I think it's great, because who was
but Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah, so it's going
Messi scored 50 goals.
Yeah. Did he really score 50 goals?
Yeah, last season.
You see, that's the thing, because it's like, the thing is, when you put it in context, you see what La Liga is and what it is to score a goal in La Liga as opposed to score goals in the Premier League. Like Premier League, like Norwich could be 20th this week and they could still park the bus and stop you from getting anything. But La Liga, you have those games where it's almost like they're just running through them and it's like 7-1, those type of score lines. So 50.
There's some good teams in La Liga.
There are 3 good teams. There are 3 good teams.
Nah, there's teams that English teams can't beat.
Which English team?
Which English team?
Yeah. Which English team
Man
can
City
beat Sevilla?
Man City and Liverpool can beat pretty much anybody. But I just think there's a lot of La Liga teams that could beat Chelsea, Spurs, and Man U and Arsenal, and just keep going down.
I agree.
So what are we saying?
No, I'm saying like after the top 3, maybe 1 or 2 over like a course of 10 games, Arsenal is gonna beat Villarreal or whatever it is 8-9 times.
Think so?
I do.
I don't know.
Think about it. Look at the European Championships, all English for both of them
this year.
Yeah,
but this year. But listen, I would agree with you if you said that about League One. But not necessarily. I just think there's these statements that people make about certain leagues, certain players, and they become the thing that we say and we just accept. But I would like to challenge some of those things. And I'm like, I've seen some good Atletico Madrid teams, Villarreal, like our Villarreal, not Villarreal. Your coach, Emery, who did he used to coach?
It was Sevilla.
Sevilla, I think.
Was it Villarreal?
I think it's Sevilla. But he won the the Europa League, So they beat everybody that they needed to beat.
They beat everybody in the Europa League.
Yeah, but there's some British teams in the Europa League who you say
I agree.
would
I
beat
agree.
the.
But what you also have to realize,
and they're not playing the best Spanish team.
yeah.
They're playing the,
But who do you think is more likely to rest players on a Europa League match? Arsenal or Villarreal?
I know Arsenal can't afford to rest anybody. So
What do you mean? We've been resting Ozil this whole time.
You don't even want him.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, you don't even want him.
Yeah.
What do you think you guys should get rid of him?
I would love to get rid of him. I would love to sell him because, like, here's the thing.
How old is he?
He's 30 now. Here's the thing, and in terms,
did you guys try to sell him?
yeah, I'm sure they shopped him around, but the problem is that contract Wenger gave him, one of the most expensive for this dude that isn't even gonna play. But the thing with Ozil, what people, people shit on him, and rightfully so sometimes, and they talk about his running maps and whatever, how far he's getting. But like at the end of the day, Ozil is a world-class player on one side of the ball. Yeah. Now, that works.
World-class attacker.
Exactly. And that works when you're on a Germany team or you're on Real Madrid. When you're on Arsenal, you need scramblers on both sides of the ball.
He should just switch leagues.
If he went to, like, La Liga, yeah, he'd be crazy good.
If he went to La Liga and he went to PSG.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right. Teams like that where he can just get there and never have to worry about putting his foot in for a tackle, If
he went to League One, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
You see, but you low-key said it for La Liga too. So
yeah.
I'm just saying.
So
subconscious.
Crystal Palace. There was an issue in the Crystal Palace Aston Villa game. I don't know if you saw it, but Crystal Palace won 1-0, and at Grelish at the end of the game, Aston Villa's making their last push. He dribbles into the box. He gets bumped outside the box, then gets bumped in the box, and the ref blew the play and called it a dive. Meanwhile, the ball ran onto his teammate, and the teammate scored the goal. And but because the ref blew the whistle, I think
for simulation,
they couldn't use the VAR.
Right.
So it canceled VAR.
Yeah.
So how do you think
about
VAR? And then also the Newcastle Watford game, where the Newcastle goal, right? So when City played, was it Spurs?
Okay.
Early in the season, which is still early the season.
Right.
One of the winning goal from City was disallowed because the ball brushed
that's a new rule.
Laporte's hand.
Yeah, that's a new rule.
And you can't have a goal count if it came off the hand.
Indirectly or directly.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
So in Newcastle game, this happened. The ball came off the Newcastle player's hand indirectly or directly.
Right.
Complete accident. And the ball gets to his teammate scores, and they don't, as in the Man City game, they took the goal away.
Right.
In this game, they didn't. Right. So people are saying VAR's not working, or they're giving VAR a low percentage.
Right.
What do you give them?
About VAR?
I'll give you my answer.
VAR is, I think, good for the game as soon as they figure out how to work it more efficient. I think in its heart it's good for the game because now guys like me who would rather see people not fall over to try and get penalties, it's that much harder to do simulation. It's that you can't pull all of the things that, like, a lot of South American players pull in the box sometimes.
Them especially.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And it's like, I don't know. I think it's a way of life for them out there. But like you see Neymar's face and stuff. But you can't do that as much anymore. But now where it kind of stops the flow of the game, because like now you'll see those games to where, like, for instance, Tottenham and Arsenal, where like towards the end of that game, Arsenal was really starting to ram Tottenham and get at it. But all of a sudden, if you get a VAR decision, all that air leaves and you kind of have to start over from new. So that kind of sucks. But that new rule about the indirect or direct, that's kind of bogus, because I can't remember what striker, or it was a defender on Man City that said that's
Laporte.
Laporte, and he's like, that's always going to be in favor of the defending of the
team that the goal was scored against.
Exactly. So like, how is an attacker gonna? It's almost like that rule with the how do you hit a quarterback now? Like there's so much that can you know.
You hit them within the legal ramifications of hitting the quarterback.
But that's what I'm saying. It's that window is that much smaller now.
Here's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you for the most part. So
you just don't want to say it all.
But no, I'm just saying. Here's a problem.
Yeah.
Players created the use of VAR by
Mm-hmm.
cheating,
True.
right? So that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Stop cheating. We don't need no goddamn VAR.
True.
Number two, the reason also we needed VAR is because referees were messing up.
Yeah.
So now that we have VAR, a thing that supposed to help you make clearer decisions. The problem is the people who are messing up are running it.
Yeah.
So then they mess up this thing that's supposed to help with VAR. Like if you go back to last year Champions League,
Mm-hmm.
when I think Llorente scored that goal on Man City
Mm-hmm.
to help knock them out of the Champions League,
Right.
right? That was a handball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the angle, or I think there was a limit for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
The referee who was reffing that game did not see the angle that later on was on Twitter that showed the ball come off his hand.
Okay.
And also, I think because of that handball off Llorente and Man City getting knocked out,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably why they made that rule, because then you can't. So now a player
Right.
can't, because some players pretend to accidentally hand the ball,
Right.
and then when they try to do it intentionally,
Right.
when they did it intentionally. So now it's like, we're going to rule out anything, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But then here's another thing. Whenever there's a new law, like I remember 2 years ago
Mm-hmm.
in the Premiership, if you hold somebody in the box, there was going to be penalties
Automatic.
on a corner.
Okay.
So the first few games,
Oh, there'll be penalties on the corner.
wow,
Wow.
like if you're just holding, you know,
Wow. Yeah.
and you're holding in the box. So the first few games, penalties.
Yeah.
Then as the season went on, you didn't see shit, and
Yeah.
everybody went back to holding. And it's the
Yeah.
same thing with VAR. It's like they'll over it. So with the holding thing,
Yeah.
they overdid it in the beginning,
Right.
and that's what they did in the Man City Spurs game. They overdid it.
Yeah.
They said that goal shouldn't have been ruled out. So then in this game with Newcastle, they were like, let's
They
pull back.
walked it back a little bit.
They're walking things back. They're trying, you know. So that's what happens with any new law in the beginning of the season. It's
Strict.
strict and to the letter of the law.
Yeah.
But then as time goes on, football goes back to being football.
Yeah.
Like in the Aston Villa game, you might as well have just not have VAR on that Grelish play, because they never went
they
to
couldn't
it.
see it from the angle though, right?
So what?
They couldn't see the handling from the angle.
In which game? The Newcastle game?
Yeah.
That's what the VAR is for. You use VAR after every goal to make sure the goal is legit.
Right.
And they did not, for some reason, call that. And I think it's because they were too strict in the Man City game.
Now they're backing it off.
And so they're backing it off. Yeah.
That's interesting. I could totally see that from happening. Just because it's kind of ridiculous. The Man City one, his face was completely down. He couldn't even see the ball, and then he gets. But it was great for me because I'm an Arsenal fan, and I made a tie.
Right. So you don't want Man City to get away with it.
I don't want anybody to get away with it.
Good luck stopping Liverpool for getting away with it. So they beat a tough Burnley team 3-0. And in that game, did you see the spat between Mane and Salah?
I did not see that.
So here's the thing. There was a play in the game where Mane thought Salah could pass him the ball for an assist.
Mm-hmm.
And he took a shot instead of passing it to is it Mane?
Yeah.
All right. And then Mane gets subbed out. It's towards the end of the game anyway. Yeah. And he's yelling at Klopp, and he's angry at Salah for not passing him that ball. Meanwhile, they're winning 3-0.
Yeah.
Right? Or they were up 2-0 at the time. So then they're yelling on the sidelines.
What minute did they sub Mane out?
Let me tell you. So they subbed him off. Let me go to the lineups. All right. So he played Mane. Keep calling substitute. Okay. It doesn't say.
Yeah. I mean,
but I just feel like.
well, you feel like there's rumbling under the water or something? Like
I just feel like. Listen,
Sane
was at.
Leroy.
I mean, Mane, yeah, good catch, was at Liverpool before Salah,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a great year.
Mm-hmm.
And Salah came and just obliterated.
Right.
And then last year, I think they both tied. Sane was, you could tell, making a concerted effort to
keep up with his goals.
Because I think the storm of Salah from the year before just caught everybody by surprise. Like,
right.
this motherfucker just scoring.
Including Salah.
Mm-hmm. Including Salah. Maybe. I just think Salah's just Salah now. He is who he is, and he's going to give you what he gives you. And I just think Mane wants some of that glory back. And that shine back. And that's why he's being petty over that thing. And I don't know how deep his pettiness runs. You know what I mean? It runs deep enough to throw this team off the axis. But I think they kind of made up of those pictures of them joking afterwards. But this is a we will see situation.
I think the natural mentality of strikers should always you want your best strikers to always be greedy. That's just a natural mentality. You want them to poach whatever goes to get. So I think I'm surprised it hasn't happened till now, because honestly, all three of them seem like guys that are more concerned about winning than scoring goals. But after they're winning, then I guess I could see them chomping to see who gets more goals. But you want your strikers to be greedy, and those bust-ups are usually good because it keeps them competing with one another and trying to outdo one another still. It's Salah's team, though. Like, he's the guy. He's the chosen one. And then Mane is a super talented striker too, but
he's no Salah.
He's not Salah. Not right now. But like the thing is, like, Salah goes on droughts too, and then Mane. that's the thing about that team. Like that's
the beauty of the team.
Yeah, they like once one guy starts dropping, the other one picks up.
Yeah, that's why you have that trident that helps each other out.
Exactly.
And then Firmino, he's just like.
He's like the utility guy is what I see him as. Like, he'll get goals, but it's like he's the center forward that constantly has to drop back. Like, cause he plays his position. Yeah, he plays. And when he scores, he scores. Yeah. And Salah gave him a shot on goal, which he scored this game. Like, Salah dribbled, created space, and saw Firmino coming towards it and backed off. Firmino took the shot and scored this very game. So it's not like Salah is completely selfish. Yeah. Like, normally times when Salah shoots, he should shoot. Yeah. And to be honest, I saw that play with Mane, that one that he was upset about, and that wasn't that wasn't the best option. That wasn't the best option. The best option was to shoot. Yeah. And then I've seen players get mad at players for shooting, and then the ball goes in the net, and then they start celebrating with the player. Yeah. So it definitely happens. Yeah. So it happens, and then you like. That's the thing with the penalty taker controversy too, is that like. You want your strikers to be the greedy, and you want them to get their goals however they can. But like at the same time, if they're not necessarily the best guy doing it, right? I just want to go back to, you just reminded me, to the Man United Southampton. Yeah. Here's the issue with Man United. Yeah. So Shaw is injured, so we put back in Ashley Young. One of his free kicks went straight to the opposition's goalkeeper. Like, you're supposed to put it in the danger area. Yeah. And so we're not still, and I stressed this last week, working on set plays in practice. And we out corner people, but the corners
don't result in
anything.
a threat and are free kicks. I don't know why I could have sworn when Pogba first got there, he took free kicks and scored some of them, but he never or rarely takes a free kick now. So I want to know what the issue is with that.
I feel like Pogba might, as crazy it might seem, I think he might be experiencing a dip in confidence.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
From the
he wants to get out. He will not renew his contract.
Right, he definitely won't do that.
So,
he wants to be.
So he
wanted to be at Madrid this year.
Right. So we're gonna have to, if he doesn't sign, and I don't blame him for not wanting to sign because he doesn't see the things happening around him that need to happen for him to believe in Man United.
Yeah.
And listen, he left, he came back, shit ain't working out. The front office is not doing front office world-class shit.
Yeah.
So then he wants to be, he's like, you ever seen rats jump off a sinking ship?
Yeah.
He wants to be out.
Yeah.
And I love Man United, but I get it. You know, I'm looking at both sides of the story.
The thing with Pogba is that, he probably will go to Madrid, but, the thing with Madrid is that Madrid and Barca are those two teams where Man United can still kind of do it, but those teams are the teams where, the team is always bigger than the player for those two teams. To the point where, it's Cristiano Ronaldo and he is Madrid, but at the same time, they got rid of him with still some good playing years left to.
Well, they got rid of him on time. That's when you're thinking
the decline is about to.
Well, they gambled on the decline taking place. It hasn't yet, but it's like.
It has, but he still took Juventus deep into the Champions League and stuff, and you're still scoring goals and stuff.
Yeah,
he's always going to be a threat. He's just a monster. No, but what was I saying about Pogba? So Pogba, I think he's experiencing a dip in confidence just because you see what has happened with the teams he's been on. There's not really anybody at his level. There are no world class people around him type of things. He's gonna be doing. It's like that thing where a wide receiver wants to play, and he's a great wide receiver, but what is he gonna do if there's no quarterback that's gonna throw him the ball at any point? So I think Paul Pogba is amazingly talented, but I think he's amazingly hard to.
He's
motivate.
displaced. He doesn't want to be there.
No.
And he wants to be out. And he's doing his job. And even when he plays great, he doesn't get the credit for it.
I think he does get the credit.
No, not really.
No, I think they do. I think that's why they always say he's inconsistent, because he balls out some days.
Listen, they played him. I'm looking at what Solskjaer is playing him, and he's playing in the same position that he played for France. But with France, he had the players around him to complete what he started in the back of the field. Yeah. In our team, we don't. So when he starts something in the backfield and it doesn't end up being anything, right, and we don't score and then we don't win, they look at how he played. Yeah. But in France, when he passes to people who can complete things, they're like, France won, Pogba played great. Yeah. You feel me? It's just, listen, man, this... anybody who's just pinpointing Paul Pogba, the teams, everybody knows he's our best player. No,
I don't ever pinpoint Pogba.
No, not talking about just you.
Manu is
it's
just in disarray. You have I still don't understand. Okay, Lukaku came in overweight. Okay, he might not be doing exactly what you want him to do. The fact is,
but it wasn't his overweightness. It's bad ball control. For a professional soccer player.
Yeah, but he gets those goals though.
How many? He didn't really get that many goals.
When you guys started, when you start cutting a striker's time and messing with his confidence.
He played most of last season up until Mourinho left, and he was up there. He didn't get that many goals. He wasn't putting the ball in the back of the net, much less controlling him. Let's go to. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this because. Let me talk about Man U that leads into Chelsea. Yeah. So Man U has a youth movement going on, right? So they have a youth movement, and one of the members of the youth movement scored his third goal in 4 games, Daniel James. Okay. And so we have other youth players like Gomez and Chung and Mason
the
Greenwood.
Academy?
Yeah, we have these players on our bench.
Right.
So they're getting to the game. They're on the bench. But we are not playing them per se. Like, we went back to using Mata, which he had a good game. So I got to give him credit for that. He had a good game. But listen, man, if you're going to play some young people, play them against Southampton. You know what I'm saying? So you had Mason Greenwood, who came in late and had a great shot on goal, almost scored. And then you had a chance to bring Chung in. And where is the... And then I don't think Gomez wasn't even on the bench. Gomez, I think, can play 10. They brought in... It's just like, use them. Now, here's the thing. You were saying something earlier about Frank Lampard and Chelsea. Chelsea drew 2-2 with Sheffield United. And Sheffield United is a newly promoted team, but they are getting points. Like, they are not fucking around. Like, where is Sheffield United? They might be above us. Let me see. No, they're below us. They're below us, but they have 5 points, the same amount of 5 points of that Man U has. So, so Sheffield United drew with Chelsea
buckets.
After Chelsea went up 2. Chelsea went up 2. Well, it was 1-1. Then 2-1 Chelsea, and then Sheffield came back and got the tying goal. Yeah. And but the positive here is that Chelsea's youth are out there. They're using more youth than we are. Yeah. And there's an excuse for lapses in play. Yeah. That's just the learning curve. Yeah. And even though they might not then win the league, you can see their future better than ours. Yeah. And I would feel better if we tie 1-1 with Southampton if the younger players, not Mata, is in there. Yeah. And like, you're just play our youth players the way Chelsea is, because I like Chelsea's potential more than ours.
I do too, but the thing is that, like you said, with Chelsea, he has to play the youth players. Now with
no, he could play Willian. He could play. Yeah. Let me see his lineup. Go ahead.
But no, with Chelsea, he has to play more youth players. Let me say that. The thing with Man U is, you have all these people that most of them.
He didn't play Giroud.
Yeah.
He put in Batshuayi, Billy Gilmore. He's throwing youth at him. He put Willian in late, but he's like, he didn't know Marcus Alonso, who won the league with Chelsea. He's like putting people on the bench who's won shit. And we're playing people who ain't won shit instead of putting people off the bench, pulling people off the bench to
the thing is that,
triumph.
The other thing is too, Chelsea's youngsters have been like blooded in a way. Like they kind of, a bunch of them knew that they're going to be the main guy, like the Abrams guy going in. They kind of knew, they went into the preseason with that notion in their head. They're not worried about their spot as much as they're working about trying to be better. When you drop in the Greenwood and all these guys, and these guys are basically like, oh, this is my shot to prove that I'm worthy of the Premier League. That comes with a shit ton of pressure in front of all of those thousands of fans.
I don't think Chelsea players have less pressure than Man U players.
Than Man U? No. Every Man U, Real Madrid, Barcelona, those teams are the teams with the most pressure in all of European football.
Chelsea has won a title every year.
Yeah, but like I said, before Abramovich though, that wasn't. They don't have a
Chelsea's
history
up there
of winning.
Chelsea's
they're up there now.
So they're in the mention with those teams.
Right,
so
but they're like upstarts. They're up there, but they're upstarts. Like Chelsea,
maybe a little bit, but they shouldn't be.
Like it's like this.
There is a different feel. I would admit that there is a different feel for no reason. There shouldn't be a different feel.
No, that's what the price of getting all those championships under Wenger. That's the price, because now you have a winning legacy. So now you saw. You guys,
Wenger.
I mean, not Wenger, Ferguson. Mm-hmm. Like, you have a winning legacy now. So like now. It doesn't like.
But you guys have Chelsea, and not you guys. Chelsea has a winning legacy now. That's what I'm saying.
In the last 15 years.
That's a long fucking time.
Yeah, it's a long time, but not in the scope of the Premier League.
15 years?
No,
Chelsea has won the second most Premier League titles besides Man U.
Right, but you see, all of Chelsea's, they're like all Recent. I'm telling you, man. Like, because you're talking about some of these fans been watching these teams play since they were children,
and
now
they're watching Chelsea
old.
play since they were children.
Yeah, but it's like Chelsea, like it's like Leicester. Leicester has one championship now.
Uh-huh.
They have a higher amount of pressure on them than they would if they had 0 championships. But there's not going to compare anything to what Chelsea has even.
Right.
Talk less of Man U. Talk less of Liverpool. Once these teams start having like these legacies, like the Knicks.
Right. I feel you.
Yeah.
Right. But everybody knows. I think Solskjaer could take the pressure off himself by playing more youth, because then people say, "Oh, this is a real youth movement." He's playing them. If they see the players improving, even when we drop points, then they're like, at least we'll move it. Here's the thing: when Liverpool got Klopp, after the first season, you saw them moving in the right direction.
Right.
So the fans, because Klopp lost like 3 chances to win a trophy before he won the Champions League. But you could see them. You want to see your team moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
What that means, the players that you're integrating new are getting better, and it gives you hope. You want to see that, feel that sunshine at the end. You want to see it at the end of the tunnel. So when you drop points, you're like, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. You're playing these old players. You're blocking the sunlight at the end of the tunnel, and you need to play them.
He should,
and it create hope.
He should,
because
play.
If you don't have points, you need hope.
You listen. He should, because it's better in the long term for the team. But I'm saying when you're at Manchester United Football Club, should doesn't mean fuck all. They're all about W's, and the thing is, you
getting the W's.
But you see, that's my point.
We ain't getting no W's.
My point is though, like in you're thinking of these new players in a function of them coming on and winning games.
No, I'm not.
There's a very high likelihood they can come on and lose games, and then the pressure is more on Solskjaer.
But last season, at the end of the season, the last game, we played Mason Greenwood, and we lost that game, I think. But
when the season is over.
But when the season's over, but people were like, we got Mason Greenwood, and he can be something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, now Chelsea is playing Mount, and now Mount got called up for the England squad. So there's like hope there. Yeah. You know, so Chelsea lost. They got a new coach. They got a new situation, but they have more hope. So then that'll help Lampard keep his job longer. Also, Solskjaer's in a you know, that's just another issue I won't even bring up.
And Solskjaer?
So because he's torn this. He knows his front office, the board, is fucking up, but he has to protect them, because he gets asked questions in press conferences where he could be like, where if it was Mourinho, he would just like shit on the board. Right. But he's not. But then he's not. But then the results on the field are not as good because of the results of the lack of aggressiveness and precision of the board. It's affecting his job. So the only thing to safeguard him should be to just play the youth. You know what I mean? So then, even if he gets fired, they'll be like, when those players materialize into something in the future, they'll be like, Solskjaer was right. And then he can get a job somewhere else just because he was right, not because he played it safe. Yeah.
You're assuming they're gonna materialize.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see them materialize or not materialize, because I've seen what we already have.
True.
And
you guys don't have much. You guys don't have much.
We don't have much. So just listen, Borussia Dortmund. Yeah. They always sell. They had Mbappe. Yeah. No, that was Monaco.
No, that was Monaco.
They had Dembele. They had Aubameyang. Yeah. And they have a history of players that they sold to Bayern, like Lewandowski and Roos, and And then they keep it moving. They keep on bringing in these youth players, and they keep on, like now they have Sancho, they had Pulisic, and it's like, but you have to bring people in. You have to take that chance.
You do, but what you need to realize too, the difference between a team like Borussia Dortmund and a team like Monaco and a team like now Ajax, those teams are selling teams. The players that go there are players that a lot of them, they're on the cusp of becoming world class. They get there, they become world class, and they're expected to leave as part of the culture. Whereas a player that's on the cusp of being world class isn't going to go to Man U to be on the bench. So he's gonna you don't have any Sanchos at Man U. You have a bunch of like
we have an Angel
Jenkinsons.
We have an Angel Gomez. We have Angel Gomez. We have Chong, and we have Mason Greenwood. And I've seen them play, and I've seen
them in preseason.
No, but I've seen them play like senior games too. Listen, a bunch of kids beat PSG up in France. You know what I mean? Why was that the only game they played? Like after that and up to now, like put them in. Like they've had a dip in real situations in the water, and they kind of handled it. You know what I mean? So play them.
Which high pressure situation has any of those guys been in?
None, because you don't put him in it.
But that's wrong.
Like Mount is playing in a high pressure situation
because
he's
thriving.
Have,
you see, that's the
he's
thing.
Thriving.
He's thriving because they have no options. Now imagine if
we don't have no options either.
But like you still have these names.
Mata is not an option. He's an old slow guy.
Yeah, but he's still a name.
Lingard is not that much of an option compared to what we could try.
Lingard has scored goals for you.
Greenwood hasn't. Greenwood actually scored in the preseason. He looked great in the preseason.
I remember when Yaya Sonogo scored like 4 goals in the preseason.
Play him. Listen, and I remember all the games Lingard hasn't scored.
Yeah.
So play him.
I would definitely try it. But what the thing about the English fan base for football, they are so hot and cold. They literally like
can't listen to them.
You shouldn't listen to them. But like they literally what's the guy's name after Ferguson left? That guy from Scotland came in. Your first manager, the
Ferguson.
Yeah, after Ferguson, it was the
Moyes.
Yeah, Moyes. He came in. They acted like he was the truth, and then they kicked. Then a few lost games, they bounced his ass. After that, they get who was next? Mourinho was next.
Van Gaal.
Van Gaal was next after that. To defensive, and they don't score. They won. They literally won a championship, and then they
won an FA Cup.
They won an FA Cup, lower championship.
Mourinho won a Euro.
Yeah, but you see, that's what I'm saying. That's the problem, because Man U has a winning legacy already, comparable to those other 2 teams I mentioned, and because of that, that's why he won't play those players.
Listen, man,
because as soon as they lose a game,
you're living in the past.
Okay,
we're in the future.
Yeah,
that legacy is gone.
Yeah,
and we have to reestablish it.
That legacy isn't gone to the people I've been watching. But those people for like
that's like
30
people
years
who still go to Blockbuster.
True,
true.
That's a lot of English football fans. Those are the season ticket holders.
That shit don't exist no more. So go to the youth.
And don't get me wrong. I want you guys to keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
I think it'll be better for you if you play the youth.
Right.
But they're not gonna just put on a bunch of young guys on there.
I'm gonna just run through because we gotta get out of here soon.
All right.
The other games: West Ham beat Norwich 2-0. We did Arsenal, Tottenham. Everton played a great game against Wolves, and Richarlison
scored.
Iwobi scored. Your boy.
I miss him, man. He's Nigerian too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. It's sad to see him go.
The thing about him, he didn't score.
That's the thing. It was the end product. He could get it there.
What was his position for you guys?
He always played like this kind of left wing type of thing. He would be on the left wing a lot. Like if they had that whole trident thing, he might be on the left of that. Or if they're playing 4-2-3-1, he'll be on the left of that. But then when they got Mbappe, it was obvious. I mean not Mbappe. Pepe. When they got Pepe, it was obvious that Aubameyang is going to be on the left and Lacazette is going to be in the forward. And they all have better end products.
Did he create goals for you?
Iwobi has, he has. Not as much as he should,
Right.
but he has. But the thing was, it was never as much as creating because he could always get there and make chances, but his finishing was poor.
Finishing was poor, but he helped you defensively a little bit.
He wasn't, he was
And
pretty
he'd
solid
run,
defensive. Yeah.
And I don't think he gave up the ball
No.
as much. Like, I don't think there was that complaint against him.
Nowhere near like Xhaka or something like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, he scored for Everton. Everton looked good against Wolves, a tough team. So 3-2, good game. Leicester, Bournemouth. Leicester just keeps moving on and doing their thing, and they're going to be dangerous. They have a better chance of finishing in the top 6 than Man U, and then Brighton versus Man City is just a formality. Yeah. Like Man City just went over there, they scored immediately, and then immediately after, and then immediately again.
It was like 2
and
minutes.
Just handled
or
their
something.
business, yeah. So let me just see when we come back, right, from this international break. What's the main match? Do they even have? What's going on with fixtures? It's just waiting. It's just, come on, fixtures.
Yeah. Let's see the schedule.
Oh, I could see it right here. What am I doing? What's next? So what's next is, what's the big one? Chelsea Wolves, Man City versus Leicester. That's the tough one for us. Liverpool, Newcastle. There is no marquee game that weekend, but there's just a bunch of interesting games.
Who's going to come up on top?
Man City versus Leicester is huge.
Yeah.
Because
Jamie Vardy still got it.
Oh, that was an amazing goal he scored this weekend.
Yeah.
Just world class. And let me see, Liverpool, Newcastle. I'll make sure I'm not missing anything. Sheffield United versus Southampton, Brighton versus Burnley, Tottenham versus Crystal Palace, Wolves, Chelsea is big. Who do you think got it, Wolves or Chelsea?
Are they at Wolves?
Wolves. Yeah, at Wolves.
I'm going to go for Wolves.
I might do that too.
Because that Wolves team is like no joke. They really don't play. And then knowing that Chelsea is just kind of so hobbled in attack, I'm going to have to go for Wolves on that one.
All right. So I'll do
Wolves,
that too.
1-0.
Wolves 1-0. And just one more word on Chelsea. Like, what's his name? Tammy Abrams? Lampard did this sneaky shit where he started him. Well, he's been starting, but he scored last week against Norwich and scored this weekend against who did they play this week? Are we just talking about it? Sheffield United. So this guy is getting confidence scoring against teams he played against in the championship 2 weeks in a row from the year before. Right. So we'll really see who he is coming up against Wolves and other teams in the future that are Premiership proven teams. Like, we don't know if Sheffield's going to stay up. We don't know if Norwich is going to stay up. We know they're promoted and he played against them. So there's more confidence against them. But also now he has like 4 goals or 3 goals in the last 2 games. So we'll see how he plays against Wolves.
The Wolves is a different beast. They're a Europa League team this year. So like and the way their manager sets them up, it's like they're like one of those old school English teams that kind of like brood it out. That just kind of like they'll get a goal and then they'll just grind you down type of thing. So like they're like a real team that they're one of the ones that I wouldn't surprise if Arsenal drop points to and that type of thing. But Tammy Abrams, I don't know if he's gonna have what it takes to break them. I don't know if Chelsea's gonna have what it takes.
We'll see what Mount does and Pulisic and the rest of their crew and their young boys. They got Batshuayi. We'll see what's up.
I always like Batshuayi.
Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's what we got going on here. So, hey man, you did not fuck up.
Hey,
you're all right.
Hey, I feel like I was teaching you some stuff about this stuff.
I mean, you tried.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You tried.
Okay.
I'm a fair person. I listen to some of the shit you had to say. You know what I'm saying? And then, You know,
It's real-
fine. It's
it's
good
real stuff.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything you want to plug?
I will be at the World Series of Comedy at the end of the month in East St. Louis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the finals or just one of the preliminary rounds?
Finals.
Finals, all right.
Yeah.
All right, good luck with that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
So how many rounds did you survive already in
Did
that?
I survive? I just did the one in Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the final is in St. Louis?
Yeah.
What club?
East St. Louis. It's at the Queen Casino.
Queen Casino.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, good luck with that.
Thank you.
This weekend, I'll be at Gold Bananas. That's September 5th through 8th. So I'll be there. And go to my website, ianedwardscomedian.com. You can see the rest of my dates. Got a tour, Judge Me Tour. So check out all my dates there. And like I mentioned before, my special, Ian Talk, is streaming on ComedyCentral.com. And my album is also available on all the music platforms like iTunes and Spotify. It's called 100% Half-Ass Pandora, all that shit. So check it out, or you could just purchase it. All right. Thanks for listening. What?
Can I plug my Instagram?
Yeah.
AJ Faji. That's AJ F as in Frank AJI on all platforms. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat.
Why'd you do that? Like you're trying to read an invisible eye chart.
Hey, this is Hollywood, baby.
Like
We're supposed to talk to the cameras.
Learning how to speak English, like, hey, J. Faji.
Yeah. Well.
So I don't even. You did it like you didn't even know your own.
Because it
joint.
sounds so simple coming out of my mouth to me, but then people still can't seem to hear it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, people. See if you decipher what he just said and go to his Instagram. Ian Edwards. Thanks for coming, bro.
Thanks for having me, man. It was fun.
Peace.
Peace.